We need a full mobilization right now, and I'm serious about this. If you sprinkled fairy dust on me today and put me in charge, we would have an entire active duty division, because the active duty division, more than the National Guard has to come in. They got to go through all kinds of processes. They don't respond as quickly. So the 82nd Airborne Division, which is a 3-hour drive from the Western Hills of North Carolina, not like, a day or two to get there. They have capabilities that can be there literally in 2 hours, 4 hours, 24 hours. And I'm talking about large packages of the full complement of everything that Nick was just talking about. This is insane. We can't have close to 2,000, and it's going to go north of 2,000 when we see it all, and the billions and billions and billions of dollars that are going to be just destroyed, and people's lives. I mean, everything. So sad. And we got to look back at these kinds of things and go, what do we do? Why? And I know why. I think there's an intentionality behind this. And I would love Joe Biden. He didn't even know that there's a storm. He didn't know which storm. I heard you ask Nick about, you said, what storm? He was like, which storm you talking about? Are you shitting me? And I'm getting Irish on you here. I want to calm my voice a little bit because we have American citizens that are at risk, that have died, that have lost every single thing that they own. We have the full ability in this country to take care of them right now for an immediate period of time. And I'm talking about probably for the next, certainly 90 days, maybe longer. We can put them, up like we put illegals up, right, in hotels. I mean, we can bring them in. I know. I mean, these are all things that I know we are capable of doing. And the military can get in there immediately and start to put people in at least tents on a fairground, and line it up like we've always done in places like overseas combat zones, where we get in there with CBs and we build plywood homes. I mean, we can bring in complements of trailers. I mean, so much can be done, and our government is on its rear end doing nothing. I mean that precisely. These people are intent on destroying this country. So there are also stories. This just makes me sick, and good reporting from good people on the ground that I know, of the looting and a lot of gunshot fire, a lot of gun fights up there to get rid of looters by some of the locals and by some of the recovery assets. There are also children that they're finding with ropes on their arms and their legs, where they were tied to trees by their parents, and their parents are now dead. And the kids were able to get recovered. There are reports of illegals up in that area, and there's a group of illegals that they had, basically grabbed up about 3 or 4 days ago. And, these are the allegations of raping some of these children up there. So this is brutal, and this is a war zone. And in a war zone, and this is what I mean about this sort of disaster zone, it's like a war zone. You showed many of the pictures, Benny. So when you have a war zone like that, you're going to have all sorts of nefarious characters, actors. You're going to have people up there with all kinds of, hey, if you support me, if you support this, and they're going to be benefiting from it. We got to be very, very careful about who we're supporting, where your money's going, and the type of people that are up in this area, because you're going to have, it's such a gigantic area of operations. The only way right now for a legitimate, well done, well executed recovery operation to take place is if the United States government commits at least a brigade-sized task force, which is about 7,000 to 8,000, men and women, soldiers with all of the requisite capabilities to get in there now. This is even outside the scope of the National Guard. It's such a big